stages of development. By supporting end-to-end value chain ecosystem, we aim to raise local incomes, create employment for our young people, improve food security, and position our counties as globally competitive exporters. Distinguished guests, achieving this vision requires robust collaboration between national and county government. We are strengthening the partnership through harmonized regulation, shared development frameworks, and coordinated investment promotion efforts. I remember very well when we made the decision that it was time to expand our value addition agro-processing capacities. And it was necessary for us to add another 6 special economic zones. I remember calling the governor of Murang'a and telling him that I need 500 acres of land so that we can develop a special economic zone in Murang'a. I'm very happy that today we are not only developing a special economic zone in Murang'a, we are doing so in Sagana, right here in Kirinyaga. We are doing one in Nakuru, Eldoret, and Busia. The project in Murang'a, we have already spent 230 million to develop the first 10 acres of that land. And I can proudly say that we have identified the Murang'a Special Economic Zone as to be the center that will be the pharmaceutical manufacturing hub of our country. And the Ministry of Health is providing relevant expertise to ensure that the 150 billion pharmaceutical commodity supply that currently is being imported from outside Kenya is manufactured in Kenya and specifically here in Murang'a. I hope that we will be able to work together towards making that a reality. I know also that when I informed the county leadership, and I want to thank the County Assembly of Murang'a, the MCAs and their speaker, they expeditiously approved the allocation of 500 acres for special economic zone here in Murang'a. I must say to the County Assembly, with great foresight, we are going to make sure that your decision brings the relevant change in Murang'a County. Let me also say that as James Mwangi has asked, part of the programs that we are developing, Minister Alice has told you about the program we have on affordable housing. Our plan is the first one, 10,000 units already. The first housing project, I am going to come and give out keys in August. In August, we will move to phase 2. All the other projects will be up and running. And why housing? I want to speak to the people of Murang'a. Why housing? You have heard James say Murang'a is number 1 in producing avocados, number 2 in tea, number 1 in tea, number 2 in coffee. The reason why housing in Murang'a is so that we will continue to have Murang'a as producer number one of tea. Because unless we do so, and we continue with land subdivision, we will reduce the land that currently is being used for agricultural activity, and it is going to be land for settlement, and Murang'a will lose its place of being number one in tea production, in avocado production, and that is why it is necessary for us to provide alternative settlement so that the precious land that we are using for agricultural production, for food security, and for commercial farming shall continue to be secured. That is the background to why affordable housing serves the interests of our country in matters ensuring that we reverse the land fragmentation that is going on in Kenya, that is actually threatening our food security and our agricultural progress. Let me also say the following. To be able to make meaning of the productivity of our farmers, it is important for us also to provide avenues for them to be able to monetize their products. And that is why we are building 23 markets in Murang'a, so that our farmers can have places where they can sell their produce. We will have cold rooms in those markets. We will have storage in those markets. And we will have decent places for our farmers to be able to monetize their effort and their products. At the moment, much of our produce goes to waste because of post-harvest losses, either because there isn't adequate storage or there isn't adequate cold room facilities, and therefore most of our farmers lose their produce after they have worked so hard. That is the reason why we are building markets, not just in Murang'a, but across Kenya. I have given very clear instructions to Alice and her team that we are going to build 400 markets around Kenya so that we can reduce the 40% or so of post-harvest losses from our agricultural production. Let me also say that in this conference, and I want to commend the county government of Murang'a for putting together this conference, that as we do this, it is important to showcase what are the potentials in every county that we have. James Mwangi has made a very passionate case for Murang'a, and I agree with him. Let me just tell James Mwangi that you are preaching to the converted. Because already my plan started before even we talked about this special economic zone. When the issue of Del Monte was being discussed, I told the county government of Murang'a, you can discuss about any other thing, but there must be land for a special economic zone so that we can put up manufacturing capabilities. I am very happy today that it is not just the 500 acres that I asked the people of Murang'a to give, that you have decided that the whole 1,300 shall be used for purposes of manufacturing here in your county. And I want to promise you my government support in terms of planning, in terms of making sure that we realize that aspiration, and the Ministry of Trade is going to facilitate the gazettement, the necessary gazettement of whatever areas that are required. And as you have heard, CS Alice has given undertaking that between her ministry and the National Land Commission, the issues that are outstanding will be sorted out so that we can actualize the plan that will unlock the tremendous potential that exists in transforming the 1,300 acres into a manufacturing hub. Let me say three things in respect to this piece of land. Number one, as I have said, we will facilitate the areas that are required as government to make sure that it is transformed into a zone for manufacturing and for doing all the other good things that you want to do. Number two, we are going to work together to support the infrastructure development around that facility. I am happy that James has confirmed that most of the roads that were outstanding are ongoing. At least you said that the Mau Mau Road towards your home is ongoing. Many people would want to say it is not, but at least you have confirmed that it is. And all the other facilities, and I want to confirm that we will make sure that before we start any new roads, we will make sure that those that are ongoing are completed so that we ensure that we unlock that potential. And because we have done so much already at the rural areas, it will become very easy for us to now concentrate on making sure that there is adequate infrastructure in the special economic zone, and I will give relevant instructions to that effect. Let me also say the following. I agree that we have a challenge of unemployment in Kenya. We have many young people who are looking for opportunities for work. And we have to be intentional. We have to be deliberate as to where are we creating the jobs. One of them, as was said here by James, is value addition, agro-processing, and that space. And that is why my initial thinking for a special economic zone, not just in Murang'a, but in 6 other special economic zones in Kenya, is so that we can transition from primary production of all the aspects that we are doing, whether it is macadamia or avocado or tea or coffee, that we move it to the next value. And therefore, as we work towards ensuring that we operationalize all the special economic zones that we have, with the county governments, we are also working on county aggregation and industrial parks. Again, a set of spaces where we can do primary value addition of products in every county. But we are also doing another 2 things. When I went to China 3 months ago, and we were shopping for what kind of collaboration can we have with China, I told the president of China that we import 600 billion worth of goods from China, while they import only 40 billion of goods from Kenya. 600 billion and 40 billion. And I told the Chinese president that we need to balance this trade. And because there are still many tariffs on our tea, on our macadamia, on our avocados, on our coffee, on its way to China, the good news is that as I talk to you, we are already sending a team to China because China have agreed to a bilateral trade agreement that will see the removal of all tariffs on Kenyan products so that we can expand the market. And Minister Lee Kinyanjui is seized with his team. My good friend here, Abu Bakr, can confirm that the negotiations are going on. It is my expectation that by September or latest October, we should have been able to have forged an agreement that will see an expanded market for our avocados, our macadamia, our tea, our coffee, and other agricultural products to the 1 billion people in China. So, and as we also, as I have said earlier, we are not only looking at that market, we already have signed and ratified last year the economic partnership agreement with the European Union, and we now have duty-free and quota-free access of our products to the 27-member, 450 million people market of the European Union. I'm asking farmers, I'm asking business people to take advantage of the negotiations that we have had in the various markets. Again, we are in conversation with America. I know they levied a 10% levy tariff on Kenyan goods, but we are at the tail end of negotiations to see what is going to happen, whether they can reduce that 10% or eliminate it altogether. So that conversation is already ongoing, and we will give you results shortly. What am I saying? I am saying we are expanding market for Kenyan goods and products. And therefore, it is important as we expand the market that we also prepare so that we are not exporting raw materials, that we are adding value to whatever it is that we are producing, and that is why the special economic zone here in Murang'a and elsewhere in the country are important ecosystems to enable us tap into the potential of the markets that we are creating. Not to forget the East African Community Market and the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Market. So, to the people of Murang'a, and as you have put it yourselves, that you want to be the hub around agriculture because you're already producing macadamia, coffee, tea, this special economic zone is going to be the game changer. And therefore, James Mwangi, you have my appointment in this public forum to lead the way in making sure that we unlock those markets. And if we start in Murang'a, I know it's going to go to everywhere in Kenya. And therefore, let us make the next step. We are already seized with the requirements that are needed in that space. Let me also say this, that as we work with the counties, we want to ensure that we support the counties so that their full potential is understood nationally and internationally and appreciated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, achieving this vision requires robust collaboration, as I have said. For investments to thrive, counties must provide a stable, predictable, and business-friendly environment. Let me repeat this for the sake of my friends, the members of the County Assembly. For investment to thrive, counties must provide stable, predictable, and business-friendly environment. This includes improving infrastructure, streamlining regulations, because regulations is the business of our assemblies, fostering innovation, and lowering the cost of doing business. Land remains a critical enabler of investment. We are working to enhance land tenure security for foreign direct investment and promote land use through public-private partnership. Murang'a offers significant opportunities in agriculture, housing, and infrastructure development. Murang'a County has equally articulated a clear and compelling investment vision, one that demonstrates ambition, strategic foresight, and alignment with Kenya's broader development agenda. Among its flagship initiatives include the Murang'a Industrial Park, which is being considered for Special Economic Zone designation, and the Export Processing Zone that is already underway at Del Monte just across. These projects aim to connect local producers to global markets and unlock substantial trade potential. Ladies and gentlemen, this conference comes at a pivotal time as Kenya integrates county-level investment promotion into its broader foreign engagement strategy. A key milestone in this effort is the signing of the Economic Partnership Agreement, commonly known as EPA, which grants our exporters duty-free, quota-free access to European Union. This presents significant opportunities for counties like Murang'a in agro-processing, manufacturing, and value addition. In my trip to China, among the investors who wanted to invest in Kenya, and we have since directed that investor to Murang'a, is one gentleman in our midst. I want him to stand. That's this good man. He was with us he was with me in China. Welcome, and I am told already there is a relationship between him and the county of Murang'a. He intends to develop infrastructure on 400 acres. Mr. Kangata, I am handing over that investor to you, and I don't need any fees. Yeah? So proceed. When he mentioned to me in China that he has money to invest, and thank you very much for having confidence in our country, my friend. You have seen from the pitch by James that, in fact, you are in the right place in Murang'a County. To further support county-level investment, the national government, through the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, has developed the County Licensing Uniform Act of 2024 and the accompanying regulations 2025 to simplify and harmonize licensing. These are currently with the Attorney General for submission to Parliament, and in due course they will become part of our laws. We have also created a County Competitiveness Index, which is awaiting validation by the Council of Governors to guide investors and help counties enhance their competitiveness. Other key tools include county aggregation industrial parks aimed at spurring local industrial growth, and in a county investment conference guide to standardize engagement, promotion, and follow-up practices. In Murang'a, already Murang'a is leading by example. I encourage all counties to adopt this tool to ensure that their investment forum deliver tangible and lasting outcomes. Building on this momentum, let me take this opportunity to invite all investors and stakeholders to the upcoming Kenya International Investment Conference in March 2026. This landmark event will bring together investors, financiers, county governments, and the development partners from across the globe. Let us carry the momentum from Murang'a to the national stage. And I want to ask our counties, because we want to pitch for Kenya together with all our counties, so that we can showcase Kenya as a unified destination We will be able to showcase what is available in Kisii, what's available in Kisumu, what's available in Murang'a, in Mombasa, in Turkana, and all the other counties. As we do this here in Murang'a, we want Murang'a to be at the national stage as well, so that we can give the profile that is necessary. Confirm two final. A mention was made about energy or electricity distribution. It is not possible, and I agree, to be able to unlock the potential of our special economic zone, our agro-processing or manufacturing without energy. And that is the reason why the government of Kenya has dedicated 1.2 billion shillings this year to Murang'a on matters to do with energy. And the members of parliament from Murang'a know where the priority areas are. I have been informed that it may be necessary to have a substation at the special economic zone. That will be an extra addition, and I will take it up with the Ministry of Energy so that we can provide sufficient power to drive the industrial capabilities that will be built around our special economic zone. Let me also say one more thing. It is not possible to drive this whole transformation, whether it is agricultural productivity or manufacturing progress, if our citizens are not healthy. And it is the reason why we have developed a national program of elevating our health infrastructure and making it accessible to as many citizens as possible. I was getting the statistics today, and I want to encourage the people of Murang'a. Out of the 1.5 million people in Murang'a, 283,000 are already registered on the SHA platform. You have clapped too soon. Murang'a is number 35 out of 47. You have registered only 27% of the population of Murang'a. I want to encourage, I will be sending the people from SHA and the people from the ministry to sensitize the people of Murang'a, to work with the county government so that we can bring on board citizens. It is my intention that no citizen will have to sell their property or livestock or plots to be able to pay for health. It is possible for us to have a health infrastructure that supports all of us, and the success of SHA is already demonstrable across Kenya. And therefore, I want to encourage citizens of this county, the people of Murang'a, to take up their role and be able to enroll on SHA. Let me also confirm that the government of Kenya, through industrial finance, has given support to SMEs in Murang'a. We just released from Kenya Development Corporation 300 million shillings for our small traders so that we can support them. Let me also confirm that we are in the process of registering small business enterprises so that we can provide training for them. We are looking for 800 entrepreneurs across Kenya, and we will be funding at least 70 enterprises in every ward with 50,000 shillings, 3.5 million shillings per ward, to make sure that we scale up some of our micro and small enterprises. We are looking at 100,000 young people across Kenya who will benefit in that process. And between the government of Kenya and the World Bank, we have dedicated 5 billion shillings for the scale-up of those small businesses. I want to congratulate Mwangi for offering to finance whatever development we will be looking at the special economic zone. I know that there are some exercises we have to do, and we will do our part, and we will take you for your word on your part. I am confident of Kenya's economic future, and it lies in empowering our counties to become vibrant hubs of production, innovation, and enterprise. Murang'a, from what I see, is ready. Our counties, from what I observe in every county that I go to, they are also ready. Let us work together across all levels of government, with the private sector and development partners, to unlock opportunities, uplift livelihoods, and build a Kenya that works for all of us. Asante sana Murang'a. Mambo yale mengine tutakuja tuseme tukipata nafasi. Poleni nilichelewa kidogo asubuhi. Huyu Kang'ata ndiye alinichanganya. Alikuwa ameniambia ni kesho, alafu akaniambia ni leo, alafu akaniambia ni kesho. So lakini nafurahi ya kwamba nimepata nafasi ya kufika hapa ndio tuweze kukubaliana vile tutasonga mbele pamoja, na nakubaliana na viongozi waliosema ya kwamba wakati tuko nayo sasa ni ya kupanga vile maendeleo itapatikana katika taifa letu la Kenya. Mambo ya siasa itafuata baadaye, na kila mtu atakuja kushowcase ile kazi amefanya. Kwa sasa sisi wote tuungane, tushirikiane, tuhakikishe kwamba tunabadilisha taifa letu la Kenya kwa miradi, kwa mipango ya maendeleo. And you have my assurance and commitment that I will work with the leadership in Murang'a County, at the county level and at the national level, for the progress of Murang'a and Kenya. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Asanteni sana.
Nitaomba kumwalika gavana kwenye jukwaa rasmi. Mheshimiwa Gavana, tafadhali. Mheshimiwa Rais, nitaomba dakika chache tu. Jambo la kwanza, kwa heshima ya kuja kwako, the gift, kindly, very fast. Nitamwomba gavana aweze kukutunuku tu, ikiwa ni ishara ya shukran. Na wana zawadi nyingi Mheshimiwa Rais. Naomba tuketi tafadhali. Tunaweza keti, asanteni. Nitaomba on the other side. Gavana, weka chini kupatia moja moja. Tutaharakisha kidogo, alafu Mheshimiwa Rais tunanikubalia picha 3 peke yake kwa haraka ili nisikuweke. Zawadi ya kwanza, Mheshimiwa Rais anahakikisha iko kitu, isiwe ni empty. Anaweza pewa bag empty. Na ameconfirm kuna kitu. Mafuta ya macadamia, majani ambayo yamekuzwa hapa. Na wapi makofi ya zawadi hiyo kwa Mheshimiwa, na hata maziwa kutoka papa hapa kwetu. Iko kitu hapo. Vile vile kuna zawadi kutoka Kakuzi. Wana Kakuzi, director, the general manager, kindly come rush very fast please. I'll invite also him to. They're already there. What is it? You can hand over that one. The small one. Leta moja tu. Leta moja. You can open that one. Explain what is inside there. Just explain what is inside.
Asante, Your Excellency, this is value-added macadamia, as you've instructed us. We're going to be trying to sell this around the world. Premium macadamia oil. The governor very kindly opened our factory, and smallholder farmers can produce this. And then lastly but not leastly, beef built on dry meat. Thank you, sir.
The President. Thank you so much.
No kugasira iragasira wonjoria wa iganda no urabatira na ruo rugano ni kwandikwo rurandikwo.
Thirikari ya kaunti ya Kiambu itongoretio ni His Excellency Dr. Kimani wa Matangi ni eheretie gicunje kia 100% kia marehi ma njoherera na ndosho hari marehi ma tiri maria matari marihe.